Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and I'm the Fool's Apprentice. So, today's video is about how I am changing the path and how I'm going to be learning the tarot. After a couple of weeks, actually, maybe 3 weeks now, of going on this structured path that I came up with, I came to realize that I need probably a little bit more structure and I need to pick up the pace somehow. I One of the challenges that I face in learning anything or watching anything or reading anything is I have a really difficult time remaining engaged and I can easily get bored. And for me, boredom is a place that if I find myself staying in too long, I will lose focus. And that project, that book, that TV show, whatever it is that I'm engaged in, will just kind of fade into the background. And it'll be another 8 years before I pick it up. So I've come to the decision that I'm going to take a tarot class. And in doing so, I'm also going to include that in my tarot journey on learning how to read the tarot by the end of the year, or the end of my 1 year, not this year, because this year would only be like 4 months. I'm still on the elements, and I'm like, oh my God, when am I ever going to get away from the elements? I'm currently working on my journal to do numbers, but I'm not complete yet. But I've come to realize that I need a lot more guidance. And I actually want to get into the cards. I mean, I want to be pulling cards. I want to be doing readings. I don't care if it's a 1 card pull, 3 card pull. Currently, I'm doing that with Oracle decks. I do an Oracle reading for myself every day. I really believe that that helps with developing my intuition, learning, excuse me, learning how to stay still in those moments when I'm looking at the cards and nothing's really coming up for me, and being comfortable in that quiet space until something comes together and a message comes through. So I think those skills that I'm developing with my Oracle cards are going to translate quite easily to tarot cards. So I am doing some type of reading, pulling cards, shuffling cards. I just created an Instagram, a fool's journey, with an apostrophe. I don't think you can do an apostrophe on that. I'll double check. I'll put a link at the bottom. So with that realization, then I had to kind of investigate, what class I wanted to take. I had no clue. I did have some that I had researched in the past and bookmarked on my computer, and one came to mind that I remembered, and I really thought about really wanting to take it. And then I remembered, hey, I created a playlist on YouTube with that tarot class. So I went back to YouTube, signed in, found it, and I said, yes, this is the one I'm going to do. So Lisa Papez has a tarot class on her YouTube channel, and it's free. So I said, that's the one I'm going to do. And the reason that I decided to do that one, well, there are reasons for it. It's just not a reason. But I just watched them, the first 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes. The first 2 lessons. I ended up watching the first 2 lessons, not maybe 30, 40 minutes ago. I wrote notes, as you can see. I have my notes right here. And these notes are for me on things that I need to do or I should just write down. 2, these are notes for me to be able to do these videos with. So some of the notes that I wrote down are, why did I end up wanting to do hers? And there were several reasons, a lot more than I realized. So you're going to see me look up and down from time to time. And so the first one is, it's free. I mean, can't get much better than that when it comes to the wallet. So, tick, it's free. Second is, after watching her for quite some time, I've come to realize that I really like her. I mean, she's a joy to listen to. She's really, she really wants to pass this information. You can tell she has a passion for tarot. And so I just found her really easy to sit with. And so I thought that would be a good choice in having someone teach me how to do the tarot is Lisa Papez. Um, Again, she's really easy to listen to and important. Remember, I was talking about being bored? Well, she keeps me engaged. I don't see myself pausing or skipping or finishing a video early with her. I actually, most times, unless I have something else going on, I'll watch it from beginning to end. And that is a mark of someone who's really good at public speaking, at providing information in a manner that works well for me, who I can feel the energy from. And she translates very well through the TV screen. Um, you can tell she's really passionate about tarot decks and oracle decks. You can tell that she really cares about her viewers, which I think is really important. One of the reasons is why I can tell is that she created, I mean, I'm sure creating this lesson for tarot beginners wasn't like easy breezy. I mean, I'm sure she had to come up with, you know, a curriculum for us, and that took time. And then she had to, write out what she wanted to teach in every lesson and how many lessons she was going to have, and then she had to record it and edit it. So that takes a lot of time and effort, and I really believe it's because she really wants to pass on that knowledge to us. Um, and because of the other videos before, I I I get a lot of value from the videos that she provides. And so based on that history that I already have with her, I know that there's a high likelihood that I will find great value in this series again, these lessons from her. So my experience with her leads me to believe that this is something that I'll greatly benefit from. Um, and her video quality and her audio quality is really high. So I'm not going to have to struggle to see anything that she's presenting on camera. I'm not going to have to rewind to hear what she's trying to say. So considering all those things together, it was just an easy choice to make. So like I said, I've already watched some videos, two lessons. I've watched two lessons, and they weren't very long. And there were a couple of things in the lessons that I thought were really important for me to know and being able to move forward to actually begin starting, to learn how to do the tarot. Excuse me, I have very dry mouth today. So I'll be sipping water from time to time. So I say so a lot. I've noticed that in my videos. I'm going to have to learn how to not use that as a constant transition word into my next thought. And so she calls these lessons she calls it a simple, expansive, single keyword method. That's the title. But it's very clear. It's a simple, expansive, single keyword method. So, and I already know, but basically, we're going to take a card, we're going to use one word, and that's going to be our one word for that card. And that's what we're going to learn. And that's what we're going to use as a jumping off point in learning how to read. And she, in this first lesson, discusses the three decks that she's going to be utilizing during the whole lessons. She has the Druidcraft Tarot, which I ordered, and let me tell you, when I first thought, yes, I'm going to do this, I did not want to get this deck. It's not my aesthetic. I didn't want to do it, so I went down again another rabbit hole trying to find decks that had large white borders so I could write the keyword that she was going to suggest. And I even posted it on her Facebook page, Supportive Tarot, and I got some suggestions, but nothing that really resonated with me. And so then I started looking and Googling. Really couldn't find anything that really called to me. And then finally I was like, well, if I'm going to do this the way she's suggesting I should do this, I should just use everything that she's saying I should use. And so I'm like, okay, don't modify it too much. Don't make it too difficult, which I already was doing and I hadn't even started. So I said, let's get it. And so I ordered it on Amazon, came very quickly, pulled out some cards, still not my aesthetic. But if she's suggesting it as a learning tool, then it is going to be a good learning tool. And that's what I'm going to use it as. And then she has us using, she's going to be using an animal deck and a pip deck as well, which I thought was really interesting. And she's doing so, as she explains, because she wants to be able to show that, the Write-A-Write system, you can use, all these types of images to get the reading skills that you need to read a tarot card. So the first one that I thought of that I wanted to use, I have it in a wrap, that's why I'm looking down to unwrap it, is the Other Worlds Tarot. I love this deck. It is so beautiful. It is stunning. And the reason I picked it is because it's a pip deck. So I said, okay, I can do that. And I have maybe one other one that I think is a pip deck. So also my choice was limited. And since I have it and I love it and I haven't been able to use it yet because I don't know how to read the tarot, perfect time to bring it out and use it. I needed an excuse to use it. And then the other one was, and she's using an animal deck. And I looked at my collection right here. And I love animal decks, love them. I have a lot of them in my Oracle collection over here. But I had two really specific ones. I had the Guardian of the Night Tarot, which I recently got, vacillated on this one. But then Hay House had a huge sale, and I was like, okay, get it. You're never going to get it cheaper than this. And it's actually, I've seen a few cards. It's really, really nice. So I thought, oh, I'll use this one. And then I looked, and I'm like, oh my God, what about the Fantastic Menagerie Tarot? And I was like, I don't know, would that work? So I opened it up, and this is not a deck that I would have ever bought. Oh, I'm trying to remember her name. Oh my God, I cannot believe I cannot remember her name. It's going to bother me if I don't. Oh no. Of course, these cards fell on the ground, but I'm not going to pick them up because it would take the video way too long and I would have to edit, and the less I edit, the better I'm off. So it had come to me, so this woman talked about this deck on her YouTube channel and how much she loved them. So I looked them up and I was like, I don't know. But then Baba Studios, I think that's right, Baba Studios, ended up reprinting him. And I was like, you know what? It'd be nice just to have, what are the chances that they'll get printed again? So I got them. And so, you know what? I actually like these cards. These cards are just ridiculous. Like, look at the moon. I mean, that cracks me up. Her facial expressions are the best, I swear. This reminds me of my childhood, this rooster. My great-grandfather was a rancher and a farmer, and he loved roosters. And when he moved in with us in his latter years, he wouldn't move in unless he brought his rooster with him. And let me tell you, every morning that rooster would get on my ledge of my bedroom and just crow and wake me up. And I hated that bird, but it's a fond memory now. And every time I see this, it just it brings back that wonderful memory. But I just love these cards. These cards are, for me, I don't know why I think they're ridiculous, but they are. Some of them just, I think, are so over the top. Some of them are adorable. Some of them I don't really get. But when I was going through them and thinking, should I get this? Should I use this one? I just felt myself smile. And when I was aware of how big my smile had gotten, I was like, yes, I'm going to use this deck. So now I have to pick them up, put them in order. Great. And then, so those are the three decks that I'm going to be using. So that was part of the homework, which she gives you homework at the end of every video, which is really cool. At least I think so, because the first two had homework, so I'm assuming the rest will have homework too. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a lesson. And what I liked near the end that she talked about, which I think is really important for someone like me, is that she really, really emphasized that this is her personal opinion based on her personal experience of 19 years in using the tarot. She did two great things there for me. One is she validated why she is someone that could actually produce a series of lessons on learning the tarot, and it's because she has 19 years of experience with the tarot decks. So that in itself lets me know that she has the knowledge and experience to pass it on. Second is that she's not only letting me know that this is her own personal experience and that there are other people who have different experiences and may have different opinions on or on how cards will read. It also kind of gives me permission to know that I can come up with my own words. I can have my own personal experience with the decks. I can have my own personal experience that will build into my own style of reading. And that she's providing me a jumping off point into getting there, which I think is really important. And when she did that, I was like, yes, this is exactly the right place I need to be. I don't need to be told this is the way it is. And if you can't do it this way, you might want to find somebody else to help you. Didn't do that. Loved that. And then the homework included buying the deck, buying a marker, getting a journal. And her journal, she's not like you have to journal. It's like get a journal, write in it, do video notes or, rewatch the videos, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever works for you, which I think is great. She's not telling me how I have to study. And then that was it. I mean, it was pretty simple. The video was less than 20 minutes long, so nothing too in depth. It's just an introductory of what she's going to teach, how she's going to teach it, and why. Plain and simple. Lesson 2, I think, was even shorter, and she really just talked about the structure of the tarot, the major arcana, what the major arcana is about, what it symbolizes. Then she talked about the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles and their elements. And then she talked about the major arcana as a fifth element of spirituality, which I had heard before. And then she talked about something that was absolutely brand new for me, which was the court cards as another section. I forgot how she called it. Another area. So there were 5 areas that she talked about, and then she talked about her personal perspective on the court cards and it being a 6th area of the tarot deck, which encompassed the people in our world and the energies that they bring into our space, which I thought was a really interesting concept. So I'm really looking forward to that part of the lessons that when we get to them. But it also, for me, kind of breaks it down into another section. And my mind works really well in studying things in sections, like the major arcana, breaking up them in 7s, the elements, the numbers, the aces, the 1s, the 2s, instead of like ace through 10. That's a big chunk. But if I can do all the aces, all the 2s, all the 3s, that seems more manageable. And then just separating the court cards like that, perfect for me. And then her last suggestion, which she considers homework, is to go through the decks, see which ones are Rider-Waite-Smith based, and use those only. All the other ones set aside, which makes sense to me. You don't want to, confuse and overlap things. So that's what I'm going to do. So with that, I am going to get everything organized. I got to go get my Sharpie, and I'm going to start lesson 3, do lesson 3, and then upload that and see how it goes. I'm still going to do the element journals, the numbers into my tarot journal, and I'm still going to do the other things that I want to do, but I'm going to make this the base of my learning, and have the other ones accompany and support that main learning. So those videos will still come. And in the meantime, I'm going to do other things. I'm going to review decks. I'm going to review books. Uh, in the perspective of somebody that's brand new, not as somebody who's been doing this for a long time, because I haven't. So I'm hoping that this was a beneficial video for you, and we'll see where this takes us. Until next time, this is The Fool's Apprentice. Have a good day.